Hi, I'm the Tabletop Teacher, and in this video, I'm going to take a chance that Probability Control's announced 2017 wording is probably going to stick. If there are changes, I'll write them in this video's description. But I figure that if you're new to the game, you might as well learn the new version of Probability Control right away. So here goes. Probability Control is identified by a light blue background on the damage slot of the dial. It is a very useful power that can also be one of the most infuriating, well, depending on how luck is treating you that day. Probability Control allows you to re-roll a character's attack or breakaway roll. Your opponent just landed a critical hit on your key character? Not if you have prob. You can ask him or her to re-roll that. Mary Marvel has hypersonic speed. Breaking away was a sure thing, but you rolled a 1. Well, not if you have prob. Go ahead and re-roll that. 2 very important conditions. A character that has probability control can only use it once per turn, whether it's your turn or your opponent's turn. And the target of this probability control, the attacking character or the character that wants to break away, must be within range and line of fire. A character is always within range and line of fire of itself, so it can use prob on its own attack or breakaway roll. The minimum range is 6, so even if Negasonic Teenage Warhead can only make close attacks, she can use probability control on a target that's 6 squares away as long as the line of fire isn't blocked. So when it's your turn, you can use probability control to re-roll an unsuccessful attack or breakaway roll for this character or another within range and line of fire, and when it's your opponent's turn, you can re-roll a successful attack or breakaway roll. By the way, you never touch your opponent's dice. That's just etiquette. You ask them to reroll. And once per turn means that in a battle royale, a character that can use probability control can use it once for every opponent's turn on top of yours. The key thing you have to remember to play this power properly is that the character using prob must see the attacker or the character trying to break away. The target of the attack is inconsequential. So carefully positioning your character or characters that can use probability control is very important. If you have a figure that can use prob, but it's out of sight and range of all the action, that's just wasted points on a team. When you can, try to find a nice vantage point for your prob-using character. Having stealth and probability control on the same click is a perfect combo for that. Having longer range and improved targeting is also a huge plus. There's not much you can do against probability control. Of course, you can outwit it, but you can also make sure to have a character with prob on your team. That'll give you another chance to re-roll whatever your opponent had you re-roll if need be. You can always try to block the line of fire of the prob-using character with something like barrier before making your attacks. Or perhaps just send a tie-up character to try and block the line of fire as much as possible. Domino has an interesting special trait. If an opposing character re-rolls an attack that targeted Domino, its attack and damage values are immediately modified by -1. In effect, making that re-rolled attack less likely to hit and less damaging if it does. Several players will tell you that probability control is a must-have power on a team. And if you've ever lost a beautiful, game-changing attack roll to probability control, you know just how important that power is. Imagine, or remember, the relief of being able to prob a critical miss when your character is on a stop click. Yeah, prob is good. But a word of advice, don't overdo it in a casual game. If you build a team around probability control thinking it's going to be fun to have each of your characters prob every attack, you might end up being a little disappointed. A little bit of prob goes a long way. Too much prob and a game can feel unbalanced, relying too much on luck, turning into a dastardly dice-rolling duel. But maybe that's just me. Several characters have interesting variants of probability control. Renette Tilly can use it regardless of line of fire and range on clicks 2 and 4, makes pushing her very tempting. This limited edition Doctor Strange can use probability control once during each attack when it's not your turn. That's a lot of prob. And Two-Face's Flip a Two-Headed Coin trait allows him to use probability control anywhere on the map, but strictly for attack rolls in which a 2 shows its face. Do you have a favorite probability control using character, strategy, or battle story? Share it in the comments below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the Tabletop Teacher, spend $1 on Patreon if you can, and as always, thanks for playing with me.